Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled Dynasty Rebuilt. What if the 1984 Detroit Tigers never fizzled out? It's 1984. Your Walkman is blasting Springsteen. Ghostbusters is crushing it in theaters, and in Detroit, the Tigers are absolutely destroying baseballs. 35-5 to start the season. Wire to wire dominance. And then one title, a slow fade, nothing more. But what if I told you that didn't have to happen? What if the Tigers doubled down, stacked their roster, and became the first great dynasty of the modern baseball era? Welcome to an alternate universe where the 1984 Tigers didn't just roar, they dominated the entire decade. Chapter 1, One Title Ain't Enough, post 1984. In the real world, the Tigers celebrated 1984 like they'd solved all the world's problems. Then they brought back pretty much the exact same roster, a few stale peanuts, a wink from Sparky Anderson, and called it a day. In this timeline, GM Bill LaJoy doesn't fall asleep on the couch with the parade still playing on loop. He gets to work. That's right. Instead of letting Tom Brokens play third baseman forever out of spite, the Tigers trade for a young, high-contact, on-base machine named Kevin Seitzer. Then they swindle Phil Bradley from the Mariners to fix left field. And just for one, they get Donnie Moore from the Braves because one Willie Hernandez is never enough. Chapter 2, the 1985 domination. The 1985 Tigers are back, and they're hungry. With a bolstered bullpen, improved defense, and Gibson entering full peak mode, they run the AL East like it's a mid-1980s sitcom. No plot, no conflict, just 22 minutes of predictability. They cruise through the Royals in the ALCS. Poor George Brett just wants peace. Instead, he gets dominated by a mustache Jack Morris throwing 127 pitches of pure vengeance. In the World Series, it's the Midwest throw down nobody in New York watches, but everyone in the Rust Belt obsesses over. The Tigers win in 6. Gibson hits homers. Seitzer slaps lasers. Trammell steals the hearts of all 14 remaining Cardinals fans. Back to back, the roar gets louder. Chapter 3, Mets versus Tigers. Real life 1986 was defined by the Mets. The wild, curtain call commanding, can't stop, won't stop Mets. In this timeline, that chaos meets the cold steel of a team that's been there, done that, and bought the matching rings. Tigers trade for Von Hayes, promote a center fielder named Luis Salazar Jr., a blend of Otis Nixon speed and Chili Davis's mustache, and ride the wave of playoff experience. They beat the Angels in 7 in the ALCS and head to the World Series against those same 108-win Mets. What follows is one of the most epic 7-game series ever played. Forget Buckner, that play never happens, because the Red Sox aren't even invited. This time, it's Gibson versus Gooden, and in Game 6, Gibson takes Orozco deep. In Game 7, Morris channels every ounce of Midwestern spite and throws a complete Game 3-1 gem. Tigers, three-peat. Three-peat. Just saying it makes it sound better. Chapter 4, the Four-Ring Club. By now, Detroit is no longer the scrappy underdog. They're the dominant team with auto part sponsorships. 1987 is their last true apex. Wally Joyner comes in to stabilize first base. Mike Henneman emerges as a bullpen monster. Seitzer hits 350 in event's launch angle without knowing it. They outjet the Blue Jays in the regular season. And then comes the ultimate revenge tour, a rematch with the Twins. You know the team that beat them in real life? Yeah, that doesn't happen here. Tigers in 6. Gibson robs Kent Herbeck of a home run, then stares him down like the villain in a John Hughes movie. Then another rematch, Cardinals versus Tigers, 1987 edition, and that's another L for St. Louis. Lou Whitaker hits 430 for the series. Trammell makes 2 diving plays in the same inning and smiles like he knows something the Cardinals don't. Because he does. Results. 4 straight titles. 4. The rest of the AL just can't help but watch. Chapter 5, The Dynasty Cracks. Nothing lasts forever, except Kirk Gibson's exit interview. 1988 is when it all starts to unravel. Lance Parrish is breaking down. Trammell's bat slows. Jack Morris leaves for the Twins of all teams, and worst of all, Kirk Gibson signs with the Dodgers. The man hits that iconic World Series home run, but now it's a bitter ex-Tigers moment. Detroit fans are torn between applause and contempt. Detroit makes the playoffs but falls to the Bash brothers and the Rising A's. The streak is over. The cape is off. The rebuild whispers begin. Chapter 6, The Slow Decline, 1989 to 1994. It's not a collapse. It's more of a slow motion VHS rewind. Trammell retires in 1990. Morris still wins his ring in Minnesota in 1991. Whitaker hangs on, still slick, still classy, still underappreciated. The Tigers try. Oh, they try. They signed David Cone in 1992, great for 4 months, until his elbow gives out. They trade for Kenny Lofton in 1993, and in this universe, the World Series canceling strike comes 1 year early, which is too bad because they're in line for the wild card, which also came a year early in this universe. By 1994, the dream is fully over. The Tigers are in Comerica Park planning meetings while the Blue Jays are in the division. Still, the legacy lingers. Chapter 7, Cooperstown Correction. In real life, the Hall of Fame committee wait until Hall of Fame committee did not appreciate the greatness of Trammell and Whitaker. In this timeline, Trammell, 2000, first ballot. Whitaker, 2006, Veterans Committee override. Jack Morris, 2004, easy call. Kirk Gibson, 2012, redemption arc. Chapter 8, Ripple effects and timeline chaos. With the Tigers on top, the entire baseball world shifts. Mets become the ultimate what-if team. They had Gooden, Carter, Strawberry, and still nothing. The Royals never get that 1985 title. George Brett becomes a sad pine-tarred legend of close calls. The Tigers don't get their 1987 ring. The A's dynasty begins earlier because someone has to pick up the torch and Oakland says, fine, we'll bash our way to relevance. Chapter 9, The Cultural Impact. Detroit becomes the new St. Louis, the best baseball town in America, filled with long-suffering fans who got their payoff 4 times. There are documentaries, statues, and a Netflix series. Little leaguers start emulating Lou Whitaker's double play footwork. Kevin Seitzer becomes a hitting guru. Even decades later, the 1984 to 1987 Tigers are seen as the perfect team, clutch, gritty, balanced, and totally capable of ruining your October dreams. Final thoughts, why this timeline hits different. The real 1984 Tigers were a freight train, but in this universe they are a dynasty, one that never let off the gas. They built on success, they adapted, they brought in reinforcements instead of retirement plans, and they gave the baseball world what it always craves, a villain, a champion, a story worth retelling. So the next time someone says, hey, remember that one title the Tigers won the 1980s? You can say in this universe, it wasn't 1, it was 4. If you love this trip through baseball alternate history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Drop a comment below. Who's your favorite player from the Tigers dynasty? And which team should we rewrite next? See you in the next timeline.